Okay, the biggest thing you need to understand, the world needs to understand, and I'm going to come back to this several times. There's so many, I got to tell you, there's so much exciting news over the weekend that everyone is framing as bad, and I don't think so. The one thing I'm really good at is connecting dots that nobody sees the connection to. I'm telling you, this one I could connect dots in my sleep. And I think you'll follow them clearly. First thing you have to know is Russia lost, okay? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They have 20% of Ukraine as their property. And what was their goal again? To get all of Ukraine. They couldn't get Ukraine, even though Ukraine wasn't a NATO country. Go ahead, Russia. March into a NATO country. March into Poland. They're not going to. They lost without NATO. That's the first thing you need to understand. Okay, so let's go and take you what happened over the weekend. First of all, there was a brawl in the White House, the likes of which I have never seen. I've never seen this. And make no mistake, we'll run this down for you later. This was Zelenskyy. This was not Trump. If you just watch the clips, you missed the 20 minutes leading up to this, where Trump is giving him an escape valve the whole time. You should probably be quiet now. You should, oh, that's funny. You should probably not say that again. Over and over again. Finally, cut 4, Donald Trump snaps.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean. And don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
Just shut up.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with.
There is so much to go through on this. There is so much, but let me just give you now what happened after that. Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, and also Macron and 18 others got together and huddled in London to embrace Zelenskyy and kick off an alternate peace plan. Okay, so he comes out and he's like, oh, I got a spanking. And the fools in Europe, and I say this because of what's going to happen to them, not because of war or anything else, what they're setting themselves up for. Starmer has tossed 4 billion euros at Ukraine, a $2 billion loan and $2 billion for air defenses. And he's using the Russian frozen assets. Okay. He's also pitching a coalition of the willing. Oh, that's because we're not willing. No, I'm not willing to put boots on the ground and planes in the air. Are you? Because I'm not. It makes me sad when France says they're part of a coalition of the willing. I'm not going, and I'm not sending my son to go. So when I first saw this, I thought, Europe, are you out of your mind? You're going to put boots on the ground? That will be backdoor NATO stuff. Okay, Putin could look at it that way. He might not. Could be fine, might not. But this coalition of UK, France, Italy, maybe even Canada, what are they doing? Well, this is not really about anything other than muscling into the peace deal that they fear Trump is about to cut with Putin, leaving Ukraine and Europe out in the cold. That's right, because I don't think you guys want peace. The Oval Office blow up on Friday spooked the crap out of them. Why? because you have a president who will stand up for America first. Doesn't mean he's not going to stand up for other, countries that are our allies, but America first. Trump told Zelenskyy, you take the mineral deals. Okay, we've got these deals for you for all the minerals. They're rare earth minerals. Wait until you hear the explanation of all this. I'm so excited to tell you, but let me just get through the news. You take the deal or pound sand. Now, why did Zelenskyy fly all the way back? He was just here, and he left because he wasn't going to take the deal. Then they continued to negotiate. He flies all the way back because he says he's going to take the deal and sign it. Well, then he gets here and he's like, no, I don't like this deal. Well, then you should get back on the plane and go home. You're not serious. You're not a serious partner. We've just negotiated with you. You left. Then you came back and said, okay, I'll do the deal. And then you try to change it in front of the press. Get the hell out of our country. That's what you would say to somebody who is this dishonest in their business dealings. Okay. Now, he said, take the deal, get lost. I'm not going to be part of any NATO-style backup. So Starmer has his summit, and it's a scramble to keep Kyiv in the game, and not to storm Moscow. Okay. They're talking about a ceasefire enforcement. Think peacekeeping, first of all, not an invasion, if that's the way Russia cares to view it. Macron is floating, a 1-month truce in the air and in the sea. Starmer wants security guarantees to deter Putin post-deal. You don't understand. With an oligarch, money doesn't talk. It screams. That's Trump's point of view. Putin is not going to go in if he's making money. Okay. When I heard this, I thought it was madness on the surface. I mean, Russia already has 200,000 dead already and nukes. I mean, I don't know about... It seems like, it's like, let us play with these matches here in these gunpowder shacks. Insane. Putin has said NATO, boots on the ground, red line for us. Finland has said, if we show any weakness or we start playing with NATO, he's going to pounce. All right, so Europe's not charging in with guns ablaze, but you don't know that. Okay. Trump, here's his pivot. He's cozying up to Putin. Oh, I told you he was a Russian spy. Mm-hmm. No, he's not. America first. He is pushing minerals over missiles. It's $200 billion in aid. That's what's at stake. And a deal that screws Ukraine if they don't participate. But who else gets screwed besides Ukraine if they take this deal? China. China hates this. They hate Trump's deal. They hate Trump's deal with Ukraine, and they hate Trump's deal with Russia. Why? Oh, I'll explain. So, this whole thing of Ukraine is a setup for a massive win-win, and I think now it didn't have to be this way, but Ukraine and Europe has just, by their moves, if they don't change the course, it's going to be a lose for them. Russia lost. It's a paper tiger. It's never going into NATO. It's not going into Poland. They lost. They want a deal about money. Ukraine could rebuild their country and stop getting their people killed by doing a deal. Instead, I think they want more war. I think this little man, boy, my view has changed on him. This little teeny Napoleon, all he wants is war. You're a fool. 5 billion would die if we went into nuclear war. And that's a real option. That, unfortunately, is a real option. Okay, so what else happened over the weekend? Oh, well, there's a lot that happened over the weekend. Let me tell you about that in 60 seconds. First, let me tell you about Simply Safe. From the time I started this broadcast today until its end, there will be on the average of 400 break-ins all across the United States. That's what's going to happen just during this program. So let me ask you, what are you doing right now to make sure your house isn't one of them? Do you have Simply Safe? They offer advanced state-of-the-art home security 24/7 monitoring plans from around $1 a day. Incredible price when you think about it. And their Live Guard protection and Fast Protect monitoring. Simply Safe can act on an alarm within 5 seconds. That's their exclusive Active Guard outdoor protection. It uses AI-powered cameras, which are backed up by live monitoring agents who will keep watch all over your property for 24/7, every day of the week, 24 hours a day. No long-term contracts. It's easy to set up for yourself, or they'll do it for you. Plus, there's a 60-day satisfaction guarantee. Simplysafe.com/Beck to claim 50% off your new system with professional monitoring. And you'll get your first month free. That's simplysafebeck.com. That's simplysafecom/Beck. Simplysafecom/Beck. There is no safe like Simply Safe. 10 seconds. Station ID. Okay, so the U.S.-Russia relations, boy, it had a good weekend, I guess, but the Russia-China relations, not so good. Our diplomats shook hands. Whispers of normalized ties were happening in Istanbul this weekend. China's trade ministry fired back over the weekend, threatening steep tariffs on U.S. exports. They say, we are realigning the world. Yes, we are, China. We're realigning the world, and it's not fair to us. Oh. Now, here's the bad part. Short-term, soybean farmers in Iowa, you might be watching your livelihood teeter, because China is saying, well, we won't buy anything from America. It's we have to, as we try to get some critical rare minerals, you have to keep your eye on the long game, and that's going to hurt some people. Now, President Trump's pivot was, is the key to all of this. He clashed with Zelenskyy, then he leaned towards Moscow. Europe watched, uneasy. NATO's glue began to weaken. All the analysts are like, oh, that's going to be a problem. This is a geopolitical chessboard that is tilting quickly. The U.S.-Russia thaw could lower tensions in proxy wars like Syria, but China and the tariff threat risks a trade spiral. If it goes poorly, this would be very bad, a 20% higher grocery bill because of the tariffs on China and if they retaliate in an ugly way. That's why markets are jittery. Oil is up 5% since Friday because there is a possibility we hit a critical supply chain crisis again. Okay, so are we playing the right game? Well, I know Trump is playing a bigger game to isolate China, but it is a very, very dangerous game. Good news is everybody is counting on Trump to flinch or blink or go, okay, I was bluffing. I've never seen him bluff. Have you? I've never seen the man bluff. You should take him at his word when you're at the negotiating table. Now, the Ukraine aid deal, that's over. But the clash is the fault line splitting east from west. I'll give you more on that coming up in a second. Commodity prices went up. which could be bad for our inflation. In Nigeria, a street vendor, this is a story that I read today, a street vendor in Nigeria has a tray of gala snacks on Saturday morning. She's out at the market, and a customer comes up and says, 500 naira now? Yes. Oh, they grumbled and walked away without buying any of her gala snacks. Oh, well, it's happening all over the world. All over the world. Prices are creeping up. There's whispers of Middle East calm or chaos. Turkey's ceasefire, that's what we shook hands on. But commodity boards were going up. Domino effect hitting wheat, gas, and metals. Central banks are twitching. The Fed is hinting at a rate hike by mid-March. That spooks Wall Street. And we will feel the pinch. Experts blame a cocktail of geopolitical stuff and supply snags. China's mineral threats adding fuel to the fire. Remember that line. China's mineral threats are adding fuel to the fire. So here's the problem with all of this. Inflation's back. It has teeth. It's personal. The oil jump is the U.S., Russia, China maneuvering over the weekend. Trade wars ignite. Gas could hit $5 a gallon, but I don't think it's going to. The Fed, hawkish. That might cool things, but at what cost? Jobs could thin. Borrowing will tighten. Some economists see a silver lining. Higher prices might force innovation, and innovation is coming because of AI. But remember, China's hoarding could be the wild card. Families are already rationing and hoarding in China, not just rare earth minerals. Also this weekend, AI regulation talks. They had a global summit in India, and the Prime Minister of India welcomed the tech titans to the NEXT or NXT conclave. Room full of suits and scientists all gathered around a table to try to come up with the rules to tame AI. The U.S. pushed anti-bias codes. Nobody really liked that one, but that's what we were pushing. China touted its own standards. Oh, okay, we're going to go in China's. I don't think so. Now imagine a coder in Silicon Valley tweaking the algorithms now under a global microscope. That's what's possibly happening. By Sunday, a draft pack emerged. No deep fakes in elections, no AI weapons unchecked. Delegates left hopeful, but really, I fear the red tape. This is a tightrope walk. AI is a genie that is half out of the bottle. We are in a tech Cold War. That's what the rare earth minerals are all about in Ukraine. That's what all the rare earth minerals are about in China. That's what everything is all about. Oh, okay. You know, I've been saying that Trump is playing five-dimensional chess. Let me show you the 5 dimensions of a win here for America. The reason why I was horrified by what I saw come out of the Oval Office on Friday, but not because of why everybody else was. I mean, it was so stupid. Zelenskyy was just playing a game, and you don't play a game against Trump unless you have a card. You know, he's standing there going, I don't know, I'm going to raise the stakes. And he's like, dude, you don't have any cards. None of them in your hand. What are you doing? We're not playing. You're not capable of even playing this game. I don't know. I'm going to push all in. Okay. So he was just stupid. First of all, put on a tie, man. Put on a tie. I know this is ridiculous. You know, what's a big deal? He can come in his jeans. You know, Ronald Reagan never came in jeans. I've never seen, even Elon Musk wears a T-shirt with a jacket. Have you ever seen him in the Oval Office with just a T-shirt? He's put a jacket on top. Wear a frickin' jacket. You know where you are. The White House, the Oval Office. Okay, but that's small. Don't pick fights unless you know you're not going to get clobbered But he was playing a game, trying to cozy up, look like the strong man who was going to stand up against Donald Trump and unite Europe, because I should be in NATO. Good luck with that one, NATO. Let me show you what happened. And part of it, an extra win for the United States might happen just because Europe was stupid and they threw themselves in with Zelenskyy. So here's what Trump is accomplishing with all of this. One, stopping a war. Who's against that? About maybe 500,000 people, 500,000 people. Remember, we lost about 60,000 in Vietnam. Remember how horrible that was? Russia's lost 200,000. These are low numbers. Ukraine, 50,000, low numbers. So 250,000 people lost in this war. Could be much, much higher. Let's end it. What do you say? Because I don't even think anybody even knows what this one is about anymore. Okay, so it ends that. Two, it ends the spending of the United States in Ukraine, where we don't have any idea where any of it is going. Okay? It is a corrupt country. I don't want to be helping their sock industry. Do you want to be responsible? Because you already are. Under Biden, you were paying for all of the Social Security benefits for everybody who has worked in the Ukrainian government. Are you for that? Because I'm not. What the hell are we doing with that? All right. Ending the killing, ending the bleed of money. Now, what does everybody get out of it? Well, let's take Russia. Here's point number 2. Number 1, stop the bleeding on people and money. Number 2, Russia. It lets Putin go home while declaring a win, but everyone else knows he actually lost. How can you possibly say that? Because he was supposed to go in there and in 2 weeks take Ukraine. Now we are, 4 years later? 3 years later? And he still only has 20% and he is stuck. So it's not going anywhere. Go ahead, Putin. Cross into Poland and see what happens to you if you do that. The idea that Russia can just plow into Europe has now been proven to be false. He lost in Europe. Okay, so he can go home and declare he won because he's got some land. I don't like that, but that's what happens in war. 2, with Trump and Putin at the negotiating table, what is Trump doing? He's siding with Russia. That's what he's doing. No. He is getting the rare earth minerals from Russia. Russia and Ukraine are sitting on a gigantic pile of rare earth minerals. If you don't know what that is, that's the thing that makes your computer work. If we don't have rare earth minerals, we cannot compete in the world of tomorrow. Who has 90% of them? China. Did we help that? Yes, because we gave China Afghanistan. You know why we built that gigantic base over there that we just handed to them? Because that's near the site of rare earth minerals. Again, we cannot compete in tomorrow's world without rare earth minerals. Why do you think China is all cozied up to Russia on this? Not just because they're against the United States. They want the rare earth minerals. What are they doing all over the world? They're making deals and saying, hey, so we'll kind of, juice your economy here and you give us the rare earth minerals. They're smart. They're thinking ahead. Oh, I'm not used to this. So is the President of the United States. Thinking ahead. We need the rare earth minerals. So we win. But because we win, well, I'll get to that here in a second. So we win. We're giving money, that really is Russia's anyway, we're giving money to Russia to buy the rare earth minerals. That's a win for us because we're getting them at a discount. China, we have to buy them from them at a higher rate. Money doesn't talk to Putin, it screams. He wants the money from the United States for the rare earth minerals, and he goes away not happy, but not vengeful. Kind of an important thing. So there's win number 2, Putin and Russia, and rare earth minerals for America. 3, Ukraine. Okay, they didn't get the NATO thing. They're never going to get the NATO thing. It allows for us to now buy rare earth minerals from Ukraine. They make money. We get something in return. And here's the really important thing for Ukraine. If we have our companies and rare earth minerals, those are extraordinarily valuable to the United States. Do you think we're going to build infrastructure and mines and everything else to get those rare earth minerals out, and then we're just going to say, oh, Putin just took them all? Nope. We're not sending in troops. But you will understand soon in the coming days, months, and years how important rare earth minerals are. We would send troops if that was our stash of rare earth minerals. Okay, so a win for Ukraine. They didn't get the guarantee, but they get it another way. America's interests are now in Ukraine. He should have taken these things. 4, Europe. What has been the goal of Donald Trump for Europe? He's been saying we're going to get out of NATO. He doesn't. That's not his goal. I don't think he would mind getting out of NATO because it's an old alliance that no longer is necessary. But what does he really want? He wants to stop paying 70% for the defense of Europe. We pay 70% of everything that Europe has in defense. We pay 70% of that. No, we're not going to do that anymore. So what happens? Well, because of the WEF, strategy over in Europe, you have them coming together on Zelensky's side. That's not going to make NATO stronger, because America is not going to go and get involved. And if you think we're going to blink on that, Donald Trump will sew his eyelids open before he would blink on, okay, we're going to send some troops into NATO. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. That weakens NATO, yes, but it also does what? It forces NATO to spend more money on their own defense. A win for America. NATO pays more. Okay. What's the other win? The World War II plans, the World War II model for the world takes a major hit. That's another goal of anybody who wants to get out of NATO, anybody who wants to say, the world has changed. Why are we still doing it that way? Which is Donald Trump. The downside on this one is that the EU, because of where they're headed with the World Economic Forum, they're headed to a very unpleasant place. I mean, they just said, when J.D. Vance was over there, they just said, we don't have anything in common with America if they're going to be for free speech and freedom of press and not changing the results of elections. I don't think we have as much in common. Well, you know what? I don't want to be your ally if that's what you believe. You're an enemy to freedom. No, I don't want to be I don't want to spend money for your defense. It could cause a Cold War between us and Europe, which would not be a good thing, but morally, ethically, and strategically, if that's who they're going to be, how do we remain their friends? Wouldn't mind being a trading partner, but not your friend. And the 5th win, 5-dimensional chess. The 5th win that Donald Trump is getting. China loses Russia. China loses the rare earth minerals that Russia just captured. China loses its grip not just on Russia, but also on us. Why did Trump, one of the first things he said, you know what? We ought to buy Greenland. We're going to, how much? Greenland, come on. There's always a price. How much? How much? Why? Because we needed ice cubes? We needed rare earth minerals. The downside on all of this stuff is if Russia and Zelenskyy don't make a deal with the United States, Greenland, sorry, you're going to be seeing a lot of us in the future. Because to compete, for America to win, for America to advance, for America to be a superpower, for us not to be slaves of China, we must have rare earth minerals. That's what this whole thing is all about. At least for Donald Trump. It was about bribery, graft, war with Europe and with Biden. With Trump, it's about peace. It's about everybody can win here. And the United States will win, to quote him, bigly, because we need the rare earth minerals. Anybody who says that Trump is stupid, Trump is causing a war, no, he's not. No, he's not. But the world is changing. And for once, finally, we have a president that knows how to negotiate, is negotiating on so many levels, it's mind-boggling, and a president that's going to win, not for him, not for his cronies, but for America's future. Back in a minute. All right, Sue. All right, go ahead. Let me have it. Go ahead.
I think a lot. I agree with a lot of what you said. I think, I think I'm a little bit maybe more leaning on the turning lemons into lemonade type of approach rather than like this was some grand strategy. I don't think he initiated that confrontation.
Oh, no.
When you listen to the whole thing.
No.
Okay.
When the Europe part, he's making lemons out of lemonade. They don't understand. Mm-hmm. It could have been good for them, good for us.
Right.
Instead, this is going to turn out bad for them, good for us. I mean, it's amazing. Win-win. You know how the left always does win-win and we lose every time?
Usually, yeah.
This is a president putting America in the situation of a win-win. They could have won with us, but instead, they're going to lose and we win. And that's because of how they reacted on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They could still change course, but this is a grand strategy. Europe and Zelenskyy just didn't see it coming. They underestimate Donald Trump. They are still looking for his tell. He doesn't have a tell. He's not bluffing. He's not bluffing.
This is Glenn Beck.